Hello everybody, welcome to the European Race League here for round 6 of the F1 season here at Monaco. I'm your commentator Unwat, and with me, as you can see, I've got Jess. Welcome.
Hello everybody, and I think Monaco is going to be very interesting considering it's really narrow, and I just wonder if we're going to see something similar to Baku. I hope not, but we'll see.
Well, Baku ended up a bit of a disaster. We lost a lot of drivers early. We only have 11 with us at the moment, and it appears we're getting ready to go, so that's well, it means it gives some of these guys a chance at points. Unfortunately, there'll be one person here will be leaving disappointed, I guess, with no points, but yeah, only got 11 at the moment, but we can still get a good racing around Monaco. The walls are more dangerous than the actual drivers, I reckon, at this point, so should still be rather entertaining, hopefully.
Yeah, because you either, when you go on the track, there's not really any way to go. I think it's one line to go. It's either that or you hit the wall. So I think that's what makes it so tricky. And also, we could be in puncture territory today if some of these guys decide to opt for the medium tyres towards the end.
I've seen a few people get punctures in other league races, but then again, I've also seen a lot of people go very long. I think, you know, your ERL race the other day, Jacko, he went nearly the whole race on a set of mediums. They can do over 30 laps, like, just depends how well you can manage them.
As long as they didn't hit the wall.
Exactly, yeah. But, anyway, we're getting ready to go now. One thing these guys are certainly not going to want is rain. I think if we have rain, we might as well just end the stream now, because it's going to be an absolute mess. But, hopefully we don't get too much rain for once. Normally rain's a good thing, but on Monaco I think it's just asking for someone to have all sorts of issues.
Yeah, rain never brings anything interesting in Monaco, except more caution, I think, for the drivers. But as I think we are getting ready up. Yes, we are.
Yeah, Zach just taking a while to choose his tyres, I think. He's chosen them now, so we'll get ready to go into the lobby and we can see what the weather will be like. Well, intermediate conditions. Yep, I've definitely jinxed it. Intermediates, that'll be for anyway for now, but we'll see if it gets any wetter in the race. Let me ask John what the conditions are for the race.
Well, one advantage of being wet in qualifying, if it's dry in the race, they'll get free choice of tyres, obviously, so they won't have to worry about going too conservative. As Nolan has left the session already, that's not a good start.
No, it's not, is it? But I do think but one other thing with the tyres, I think people will probably end up starting on the softs anyway, because it's not really more about strategy here, it's more about track position, because if you're at the front of the queue, you need to stay there, pretty much. If you're on the best strategy, which is pitting early and, you know, cashing up, track position is just so key. I don't think anyone will take the risk on mediums, but we'll see. Anyway, all about the intermediates this time, so we'll see how we all get on.
At least they'll have the benefit of actually going on a few laps actually on the intermediates compared to only like one or two if they want to do qualifying on the soft tyres.
Yeah, and I'm just getting confirmation it's going to be dry in the race, so this will be the only wet running we get, and that'll be interesting for the actual setup as well. And pretty much a dry setup in the rain, and that's sometimes difficult enough, but in Monaco, where the margins are so tight, this could make this a very difficult qualifying session. But we'll see what they do, because they can't really put the winds out much, can they? Which is what you would tend to do in the rain, because they're pretty much already at their maximum level. So we'll see if that makes it more difficult. Watching Lormans on his out lap, he'll be the first one to do a lap, so we'll see how he gets on. Now you might notice there's a few drivers out here who have got black helmets or pink helmets, and of course we are racing in memory of Antoine Schubert, who died during the F2 race last week, and it's good to see a lot of drivers here getting some of their tributes out, and it's good to see the respect there.
Yeah, it is. It's just such a shame that it happened, actually. I found out the news just as I was finishing the ERL last week, so it was very sad, but it's nice to pay respect anyway, as Lormans is about to start a lap.
Yeah, Lormans has started. The Williams behind of Truesdale will be next across the line, so we'll keep an eye on those two, but Lormans at the top of the hill. It'd be interesting to see what sort of lines he sees, because especially at the top of a casino, you need to be so sharp in your decision making when you're going for the apexes. Easy to tap a wall, and as you can see, he's just squirming round. He's not really got much confidence on it, but he's getting himself round. As long as you have at least a banker in, you can then start to push later on. Slowest corner on the track is just even harder in the wet, especially if you're on a pad. If you're on a pad, I'd love to see anyone try and go for that hairpin, quite frankly. It'd be horrendous. But through the tunnel now, this is another factor as well of making this a lot more difficult, because it's dry in the tunnel and you're on wet tyres, which can make it extremely slippery on the exit, especially because it's only a little kink in the tunnel. But when it's wet tyres on a dry track, it pretty much becomes a whole proper corner. So we'll see if anyone loses it in there. But so far, Lorman's getting around the lap, no real mistakes, and as long as he gets to the line, he'll be happy, I guess. And heading towards Rascast now. He's a bit of a lock up there, going a tad wide, but that can open up the exit for Anthony Nose. Hitting the apex well there, and coming to finish his lap. He can probably go much quicker. than Williams has caught quite a lot on that lap, but he has got a banker in of a 1 minute 23, and that gets beaten instantly by True Deal, who's done a lap nearly 1.8 seconds quicker. Straight into the 1 minute 21s. Louis covering the final corner now. He's relatively handy on most tracks in this game. We'll see if he gets into the 20s. He does indeed. 1 minute 20.4. So the bar is being set rather high, or rather low, sorry, already for these guys.
Yes, and Louis will be keeping up the momentum from last week. He won last week after Speed Barry he got a punch on the mediums in last week's Spanish Grand Prix race, and Louis looked unstoppable with his second stint, and it got rain towards the end. So looks like he likes the rain, doesn't he?
He does indeed, but so does Schnitzel, because he's gone top there in the McLaren. And what I've noticed there is actually a couple of people are hitting the wall at Portier, or not Portier, sorry, to back. I've seen Wayne do that. I think I saw Zach do that as well earlier on. And you see, these guys are pushing limits. You know, people like Lormans, he was taking it nice and easy, so he has a lap in, but others are hitting the walls and having to pit. That's Wayne and Zach. I think have both hit the wall at some point, or at least someone's hit the wall. Might have been someone else, but
it was Rain who hit the wall. I think it was sector 2. Oh, he's gone. I couldn't see him anymore.
Right, so Nolan and Zach are doing laps now, so Zach must be okay on the front wing actually. So we'll follow Zach round just after Nolan finishes. Here he comes to the line, and it was invalidated, so he'll probably go again. One thing you'll often see on intermediates is people go around for multiple laps at a time. You know, sort of 3 or 4, and then pit and go for a flyer at the end. Helps to get used to the conditions, and obviously times are getting faster and faster. You don't really lose too much performance on these tyres until you hit about lap 6 or 7, so it should be improving all the time if Schnitzel gets into the 1 minute 19s. Good lap there.
Yeah, and the tunnel is quite dry, so, and I don't think Zach seems to be struggling on the tunnel, so that's alright. But I don't think the conditions are going to get any better. I think it's going to stay as it is, so he's just got to stay to the right of the wall as you can to maximise the lap, but he's got to be careful again, because if he hits any more, he's in the wall. So he's looking quite committed anyway, and I don't know what corner cutting is set on this track. I think it might be, I can't remember, but
probably very strict, I'd imagine.
Yep, he's going to set a lap now. Is he going to beat his teammates' time? I think he's just warming his temperatures up his tyres, maybe. He's 4th at the moment with a 1:21.6. I'm just thinking anyone else is out. I think Yanal's out for a lap, going past the tunnel section. Apart from that, it's looking quite quiet at the moment. Championship leader, Rafa, still hasn't set a lap yet. So that's surprising.
Yeah, well, still plenty of time, still 11 minutes. But one thing I was noticing there, watching Zach, is that he was very reluctant to go too low on the gears, and he was actually short shifting out of the corners. That helps with your traction, but I imagine he was just doing it as a banker. But it's interesting to see different people's techniques. Here's Janel coming to the line in the Red Bull. P5 he goes. And anyone else on a fresh set of tyres? It's always better to look at someone on a fresh set. Zach is going again. But look at his ERS, that's quite low. And as he drifts round Nouvelle Chicane, will he have enough to get to the end of the lap with any sort of representative pace? We'll wait and find out. Further on, Janel is already 6/10 up in the first sector on his last try, so we will keep an eye on him. But I want to see if anyone else is further on. Nolan's doing...
Truesdale's just gone past the tunnel again. And I
All
didn't
right.
see how much he was up or down by in that sector, but I think we'll see in a minute as he goes into sector 3 now. Well, potentially. Oh,
Well,
he's down by, well, he's improved by 44,000, so not a lot.
he's
Oh,
low
he
on.
scraped the wall there. He's lost a bit of his, I
He
don't know,
was
but he's
low.
lost a bit of something anyway.
He's lost his front right end plate and fence, but he was low on fuel and ERS anyway. I think he was always going to pit. Janel, he was up in the first sector, but he's lost a second in the middle sector overall. So he's went from 6 tenths up to 4 tenths down, and he's making a mad dash for the pit lane by the looks of it. Lakitu has just started a lap on brand new tyres. Speed set as well, but Wayne is furthest ahead in the last position in that Alfa Romeo, so we will follow him through the tunnel. I know Lewis has also started a lap, so we will find out how he does later on. But into Nouvelle Chicane, we see a few people have been drifting into here. Let's see how Wayne's here, because he's taking it nice and sort of nice and calm. I think he's once again just trying to get a lap on the board, so that he's got something to show off, really. As Schnitzel improves yet again, he's now 8 tenths of a second clear.
Yeah, he seems to be flying on those intermediates at the moment, and he's been on those intermediates for 3 laps already. So he must be doing quite well. He might be saving a little bit, but he's got 9 minutes left, so he still has a chance to get better lap, and he might put less fuel for his final stint as well. So he is looking pretty quick already.
Speedster's nearly spun into the pit lane, but he's abandoned the lap anyway. Lakichi, I think, was half a second up on his best, so that'll put him up possibly into P5 if he can keep that up. Into Anthony Nose as he goes to the line. Got enough ERS to get there, and probably do another lap as well, as he does go P5, up by 9 tenths on his last attempt, but still 1.3 off the top. And what about Lewis? He might get P2, he managed to find a little tad more time, and he does do that. Up into P2. There's a lot of people coming out of the pits now, so we're going to get some more runs.
We've just seen a Red Bull and a Toro Rosso, I think, that just came out. So I think Ginol's gone out, and Lawman's. Oh, I think Lawman's was moving out the way of Rafa there, that was still on a flying lap. Again, it's hard to move out the way on this circuit, so.
Yeah. But it looks like they're all doing a pretty good job of getting out of the way. It does turn into a bit of a mobile chicane on this track, but haven't seen anyone having real issues with it at the moment, so that's good to see. Although Rafa is coming to 2 people on outlaps, we'll see how he does there. Because we catch him in the final sector, there's pretty much nothing you can do about that. But anyway, he is actually on a slow lap, I think. He may be taking a second outlap. Yeah, so nothing to worry about. I think Zach is now starting another lap, so we can watch him instead of watching someone who's just doing nothing. And I think Nolan as well has started a lap just there now. I think I just saw a car on the wall there. I don't know if they were just being slow or not.
There was a yellow flag, so.
Ah, look at this. Rafa actually did catch up to Lewis, and this will hold him up a bit in his preparations and nearly run into the back there, but luckily nothing too bad happens.
I think they were both on outlaps. Oh no! Oh, Rafa's hit the wall in the pit lane.
Yeah, these people, they get quite
hard in the way.
They do get quite hard on the throttle on the way into the pit lane. I don't think they quite understand that they're going to hit the wall. On board with Zach again. He's driving it like a rally car. It's incredible, but he hasn't hit anything. It's quite a spectacle to watch this on board, but he's making it work. Up by 2 tenths on the last attempt. Much better into Rascast than last time. A little bit wide at Anthony Nose, but I should open up the exits well enough anyway. Once again, short shifting massively up to the line, but does move up into P7.
Looking pretty good, and he's got 6 minutes remaining as well. He might go out for another lap, and he's got, no, he's not, because he's turned his ERS mode to 0 as well. And I think Nolan just crossed the line, but he didn't improve.
I can't believe it. Like, Truesdale is just hitting every wall he can find just to help him get round the track. As long as he keeps his 4 wheels on the car, I guess he's allowed to do that. But he's certainly doing a TT style tactic there. Let's see if it works for him. To the line, he goes P3, so it's working.
Yeah, and he hasn't had any damage. I don't know how he's got any damage, but I think with the intermediates you can do that. But if you're on the soft tyres doing a dry run, then that probably wouldn't have helped you there.
Yeah. I can't believe he gets away with it. And I'm just watching Speedster. I mean, these guys are really getting very aggressive at the Nouvelle Chicane. Once again, drifting through there. And it's working. Apparently drifting works, but I think Speedster might have pushed it a bit too much. He's backed off on the lap. Someone was going to have to go too far eventually, weren't they?
Yeah, and he hasn't got long to set a lap, really, as he's got to try and wait for traffic. So I think he might have left it a little bit too late if he hasn't got a time on the board. So he comes to the line now. Yeah, it's invalidated.
Watching Truesdale, he's sort of so-so on this lap at the moment. He's not going to move out any positions. He has to find 5/10 to move up, but currently still on for possible improvement unless he decides to pit, which might be a wise idea, and he does indeed pit. So, I've just seen Lewis hit the wall, by the way, there, but when he's not hitting the walls, he is only 67 1/5 of a second off pole, so it is close, but Schnitzel has just started a lap. Let's watch him as he heads around in the McLaren. He's certainly been a more dominant car today, hasn't
he? Yeah, he has. He's just, every lap he gets better and better, and somehow he avoids the wall, and he just makes sure he gets the purple lap in, and most importantly, he comes out when then there's no traffic, and track position is key, and that's what he wants to do right now. He just goes past the Mirabel and into the tunnel section, and I think he's one of those people that drives like it's a dry track. I don't know how he does it, but he's one of the top guys in PS4 anyway, so it's not really that surprising.
Do you know what?
Does he make that
I think he's driving it. Do you know what it reminds me of? It's like he's driving it like a go-kart. It feels like he's drifting it around every corner, and it's sticking beautifully. And he's 3/10 up. This is working really well, this.
Like glue.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Really impressive driving. Let's see if he can get himself into the 18 series. Certainly going to be a big enough improvement as long as he keeps this pace up. And he should pretty much kill off all competition if this is a good enough lap. Let's see to the line. Pushing, brilliant lap we've seen. And he's just about into the 19 zeros. He may improve later on, but that's a pretty decent benchmark once again. We watched that one on board. That was really good driving that.
That was brilliant. I must say that was just probably one of the best laps I've seen in the wet from Schnitzel anyway. So, and in Monaco of all places. I know. I can't even drive in the wets. I'm horrible at the wets. If I drive in the wets on this game, I just die. So I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, well, it's a very special skill to have. I don't think there's that many people who could manage to do that. I was in awe watching it. I just couldn't believe it because he was locking up and all sorts, but he was still making the corners. And Rafa has got lost. He's done a Rosberg there, except there's no one to block. He's 10th. So, yeah, not really the best line into the Mirabeau, but oh well. No. He's still got 2.5 minutes to go. Hopefully he can get a lap in. Currently 2.7 seconds out of pace. Not what he'd been wanting, but then again, he's on a pad, I believe, and Monaco in the rain on a pad. It is pretty much worst case scenario.
Yeah, and Rafa might do better in the dries as he does in the wets because it would be easier for him. So it may be a different story. He may be able to climb up the order like some people do, and maybe starting 10th may be a saving grace for him.
Well, yeah, exactly. He may be a bit out of the trouble as well that happens ahead. I've seen a lot of racing where turn 1 at Monaco is a real issue, and those who sort of keep back and let it all happen in front of them, they have good results. And so Rafa, Lorman, people like them who are struggling in the wet maybe might just hang back at the start and gain from it, because once again, bring back your ILR 8 race, we had so much chaos at turn 1 now race, and those who sort of kept themselves clean just gained massively.
It was hard because when I was driving it, I was just like, there was so much carnage. I just had to go to the run-off area just to try and avoid it all. It was very tricky, but I just had no choice but to avoid what was happening in that race.
I've just heard a big cheer. I feel there's someone maybe in the wall. Let's try and figure out who it is.
Oh, that no.
No?
I was just again telling porcupines on us.
Yeah, someone in the game was cheering very loudly at that, but nothing actually happened.
Yeah.
I think Schnitzel fancies another lap, you know. He's cutting all the chicanes and everything. He's trying to get in a position to start a lap again, so we'll keep an eye on that. Lewis and Nolan. Oh, do you know what? I don't think Nolan's going to make this. He's got 40 seconds. He's gonna have to start cutting some chicanes, I reckon, here. Is he gonna cost himself his chance of pole? He's only 1/10 of a second ahead of the car behind his Speedster. Now he's fourth because True Deal's gone up. Nolan's gonna get a move on here. Surely he's gonna have to cut Nouvelle. Indeed he will, but he's only got 20 seconds. He might as well just teleport. There's just nothing he can do now, so he's went out a bit too late and might well lose out big time. But let's watch Lewis as he starts his lap. He is gonna have to try and find 6/10. There's a car off. There's a car off there. Janel. Janel in the wall, just where Lewis has gone by. And as you see, Rafa as well gone. But Janel in his last attempt has found the barriers. So that's not a great way to, finish your qualifying.
Did Rafa do that earlier?
Rafa did that earlier, but he missed the wall. So two sort of similar incidents there. Schnitzel has started his lap, so we'll keep an eye on that, but he's currently behind Lewis on the track, so we'll catch up with him later.
Nolan hasn't made it.
Yeah, he went into the pits, didn't he? Speeds to P2 in the Alfa Romeo. Oh, Lewis in the wall. He's hit the wall there, and he wasn't improving that much anyway. But yeah, Schnitzel 1/10 up in the first sector, but he's sliding massively as the grip's starting to go on those tyres. He needs a mega final sector to improve, and I don't think he's going to get it, to be honest with you. He's on pole at the moment anyway, because I don't think there's anyone else on the lap.
He'll probably drive it in, because otherwise he's going to lose him off. No, he's going.
Well,
He wants to improve.
He might as well try, but I don't think there's any point.
Nah, 7/10 down on that lap.
So Schnitzel on pole by half a second from Speedster, and Lewis, Truesdale, Nolan, Wayne, Janel, Lakitu, Zach, Rafa, and Lorman's your grid. And remember, we'll all be starting on dry tyres, and I don't expect there to be much in terms of strategy changes. I don't know, I'd be surprised if there's that many people starting on mediums, just because track position is so key that it could just be about, you know, being at the front on the right tyre to pit first and decide a strategy. If you're sort of going on a long run, it might not work out, but we'll wait and see. Maybe I'm not too good in the strategy here, but we'll see what these guys come up with. But yeah, feels better 4 seconds. Feels better 4 seconds. So it shows people's strengths and weaknesses, and it could also say something about the setups. But we'll see what happens in the race. Well, it should be dry, and it should be rather exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait, as long as they don't bottle into the wall in turn 1 and have 3 retirements. But if I called it, I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, I would say a lot of people go on the softs for their first stint, because the softs do last longer than most other tracks due to the fact that it's more about the tyre temperature than the tyre wear, I've noticed on this track. So softs will probably be the way to go, and it's quite cloudy still in Monaco, so it's not as sunny, so I think it might be a bit colder, but
well, we'll see how that affects it. I mean, it might make it a little bit more difficult to warm up the tyres, but then again, it would sort of decrease overheating of the tyres, which in Monaco you don't really want. So maybe these conditions may actually help the drivers out. But we'll wait and see what happens here with the strategy. I don't think anyone's going to go near the hards. It'll either be the softs or the mediums, I reckon, for this. So we'll see.
I think we won't see anyone on the hards in this tier, and particularly at this level as well. They're in this tier for a reason, and they're probably not going to touch the hards at all. So I think we're just waiting for everybody to ready up. So obviously they have free choice of tyres, so they will decide on what strategy would work best for them. And
well, there might be also might be changing from front wing and brakes as well, because there's not much you can change on the grid, but there's a little thing you can change with the front wing and the brakes, I believe. So might be changing that as well. But okay, I was completely wrong. It's completely wrong. They all felt that the long run's the way to go. So maybe one person to keep an eye on, I guess, will be Janel, because he's the only one on the grid who will be starting on the sauce. He may not be able to make much progress at the start, but he's going to have the whole track to himself after his first pit stop. As long as there's no other accidents that require early pit stops for him. But this could work out nicely for Janel if he's got any sort of pace around here. But I'm surprised more people didn't see the opportunity to do that. But oh well, we'll see. So we'll quickly run through the grid one more time, on board with all the drivers. Schnitzel is on pole. Like I say, he had a pretty dominant car in qualifying. We'll see how it is in the race. Speedster P2 with Louis on the 3rd position. Truesdale P4, Nolan 5th. Might have a little bit more pace in that Haas. He didn't get a chance to do his last qualifying lap because he was just a bit too late out of the pit lane. So we'll see what he's got in the race. Wayne in P6. General, of course, only guy on the soft, everyone else on medium, so look out for him. More in the sort of second half in the race, I'd imagine you'll see stuff from him. Lakitu in P8. Zach 9th. Rafa running at the top 10. And Lormans, probably with a sort of dry setup in mind, I'd imagine from qualifying, that's why he was so far off the pace. Look out for maybe him going up the field as well. But we're all getting into the grid now, and keep it clean, lads.
Yeah, don't bottle it, please. But I think once on the mediums, they either have a choice to go on the hards, which is probably unlikely, or go on the softs for their final run. So they'll be faster towards the end, which might benefit the liked people from the back as well.
Well, we've got the last car on the grid. We'll wait and see how this all works, but we're now waiting for the lights to come on ahead of the drivers. Here we go. 3, 4, 5 lights at Monaco. Lights out, away we go. Jump start there from Nolan. He'll have to take a drive-through penalty, but so far looks like everyone else has got away rather well. Side by side to turn 1. Lewis trying to get up to P2 already. By Spacer he goes, and I don't think there'll be much interest in going side by side up the hill. So they will keep that, but saying that actually, we've got Wayne trying to get by Janel. Side by side, a little bit of contact there, but Janel into P6. Good start from him. And relatively clean throughout the field by the looks of it. But as I say, Nolan will have to take a drive-through penalty in the next 3 laps for that jump start.
I think that might have changed his strategy a little bit because he was on the mediums. He may be forced into a two-stop a bit more, or he might just go from hards to the end. But again, that's hard in itself. So he's got a long way to go. I think lap 2 is where we might see some instance, if any. I think lap 1 they've been told to keep it cautious, I think, more than anything, and then they'll hammer it from lap 2 onwards, I think.
Well, looks like everyone is getting through lap 1 okay, and when they start fighting lap 2, and particularly lap 3 when DRS maybe gets involved, yeah, then they'll start taking some more risks. But the issue is, they'll just have to be so conservative on the tyres as well, make sure they've got enough grip to get relatively far into the stint without any issues. But here's Nolan taking this drive-through penalty. He'll fall right to the back of the grid, so he will get plenty of free air. He'll be hoping that these guys now ahead start to fight a lot, or that we get a safety car, because that's what he needs to get back in this race, because he's way down the field now. Schnitzel already has a 1 second lead over Lewis, so maybe he does have just some raw speed on this track that no one else can match. And hopefully he'll be trying to break away from that DRS. Not that it's really a very effective DRS right here, but still, he'll want that extra insurance knowing it isn't going to be a threat to him. And looks like Louis, by the way, is really struggling in the early stages. He's got a real train starting to form behind. Jano now, obviously after 5th after Nolan's drive-through, will be surely cruising up to this.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with him. Maybe because he might have taken a long time to get those tyres up to temperature, or he might just be thinking that Monaco's a really hard track for him. But he's already losing a lot of time to the car in front, and Speedster is catching like a hawk. So when he's got the first penalty.
Wow, that was quick. It's going to be a long day for him if he keeps at that pace. Schnitzel, nearly 2 seconds clear already. DRS is enabled. It's not really very useful down the main straight, but if you're close enough, you can make it work. And a second penalty for Wayne. He's on that for a pure corner cut this time, so he's clearly exceeding some track limits in ways that no one else is, and racking up 6 seconds of penalties already. And you don't see disqualifications through penalties too often, but at the rate he's going, it might not be out of the question. And look at this, Jan's locking up every corner, I'm noticing. He's really struggling, and still Louis really under some pressure here. Chance for a move into the Nouvelle chicane if Speed has a good enough exit and enough straight line speed, but he went a bit late onto the ERS. He's using less as well than Louis, so he's not going to go for a move there, I don't think. Lakitu, though, is getting past Wayne, and Wayne is now being overtaken by Zach on the outside into Nouvelle. That'll be argued against, but I think Zach's going to have to back out of this one for now. But yeah, Wayne getting penalties, and he's a bit slow as well. Is there any front line damage on that Alfa Romeo that could possibly be affecting that? No, he's just struggling. He's really riding those curbs, though, in the chicanes. Is it any wonder that he's getting penalties like that?
I wonder if it's just one of those things where he's just finding he's not finding the rhythm. Because if you find the rhythm earlier on, you're more than likely to find it for the rest of the race. But I think it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be hard for him. As Norman gets a penalty, so it's not just Wayne now, it's Norman. So he must have cut the chicane a little bit there. I think it was turn 1. Yeah, it was.
You know what? Nolan's actually only 5 seconds off the back of Lormans. I guess it isn't a very long pit lane at Monaco, so he hasn't lost nearly as much as I thought he would have actually lost. So he may still be in the fight for some points at some point, because he probably will be a bit of a quicker driver than the likes of Lormans and that, because he does indeed have pace, just couldn't show it at the end of qualifying. But it looks like Truesdale's fall at the back of Speedster, but Speedster's still very much on the back of the Toro Rosso of Louis. He is setting his fastest lap of the race so far, but not really extending that gap too much. It looks like Zach into to back, got the move done this time on Wayne, and yeah, the Alfa Romeo really falling through the field now. Oh, Zach, a huge slide though out of the second zone for chicane. Does not want to get swamped by him, by Wayne, just after passing him. Spacey got close to the turn 1, but you could see the dirty air there, just sort of drifted him wide. He tapped the wall. Shouldn't be any damage to that car. It wasn't a huge hit. As Nolan sets the fastest lap, and he's cruising right up to the back of Lormans, and he's got that free air that I was talking about. Same as Schnitzel, and it shows, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You're more than likely going to set fastest laps and pick up the pace a little bit more if you do have some clean air, because what I've learned is if you battle, you're going to lose time to the far behind.
Well, speaking of battling, look how close Space it is now. Is there a chance this lap he's onto the overtake mode in his ERS? Will he try and fake Louis out, maybe try and scare him off the track? He's certainly getting much closer on the brakes. You imagine if he got ahead, he'd be pulling way further ahead, because the gap to the leader is nearly 5 seconds now. Oh, this is really ruining Speedster's dead. It's only lap 5. How far is he going to be by the end of this Schnitzel? He's really loving his racetrack, and his pace at the moment is brilliant.
Speedster almost hit the back of Louis there almost, but I don't think there was any damage caused to it, so I think he's probably out having to force to go for another move soon, but not now, because you might try go for a move going near Mirabel, but it'll be really hard to do so, so he's going to stay in ERS mode 0 and just hope that Louis makes a mistake. So yeah, not quite sure what happened there.
Yeah, Truesdale's now catching up to this, so it's really showing. He's getting a second in the first sector, has Schnitzel. It's just no pace for Louis right now. And this is going to create a train that's potentially going to end up going down to 5th place if Janel gets overtaken by Lakichi, because look, he's going really slowly as well as Janel. I would have thought he'd be right on this, but struggling on those softs right now in the early stages. Hopefully it'll count him later on, or will he just have to pit early and sacrifice it and go for that clean air? And look at this, Nolan in the tunnel, side by side, a bit of contact nearly there with Lormans. I think that was actually a bit of a tap. He's trying to get by into the points.
Yeah, only 11 drivers, so obviously one chance to get up on.
Speedster did hit him that time a little bit harder, Louis. He's getting closer to breaking that front wing, but he's still in it this time. Has he got an opportunity into turn 1? He's really closing, but Louis defending it in the middle of the track. Nice job there, and there's just no way through. Will he try up the hill? There's an opportunity here, but long sweeping left-hander. No move as of yet. A gap at the front now, nearly 8 seconds.
Yeah, Speedster backs out then, so he doesn't want to be too aggressive, otherwise he doesn't want to get any more damage. Oh, he's very close to Louis on that lap. Oh my god. Surely
he's got to be preparing to go for moving to Nouvelle. If he gets that ERS up. Oh, he's had a bit of a slide though on the exit of Portier, so it's not going to happen on this lap. He is just stuck right now. Nothing really you can do about it as well, because Monaco is just so tight. There's nowhere to pass unless your rival makes an error, and even then it may be difficult.
Yeah, and some people might be held up due to this as well. Not quite too far their own, but mainly because it is hard to overtake. So it may hinder others, but it may help people like possibly.
Pitting.
Lap
8 on those tires. He's pitting so early. It has to be for hard just to go to the end. Yeah. He just would rather be in clean air on his own.
Yeah, it is hard.
New front wing as well, so there was damage to it. Okay. Must have been just
That
yellow
must have been the
damage.
contact. Must have been the contact with Speedster earlier, I think.
Yeah, I didn't see any damage, but it must have been very minimal. But he's out of the
Yeah.
pits. Nolan, by the way, is on the back of Rafa now, so he's continuing his progress through the field. Is he going to fancy a move here into Mirabeau? He's looking, but he's not going to go for it.
And I think Nolan trying to go around Rafa as well, right at the back as well. Everyone is making moves left, right and centre, some of these guys, but I think Gino is about 4 seconds behind Truesdale, so I think he's the only one out of DRS range, as Nolan is going to try and have a move through the tunnel. He's going to have a jump anyway. He's backed out a little bit there. He was thinking about it, but I think he decided enough's enough and he didn't want to take too much chances. But Normans is catching on this train, so he's got to make a move soon.
Yeah, and imagine Lou will be catching this quite quickly as well at this rate, because of course in the free air it's a much better situation to be in, and Lakitu as well is going to go for a new front wing and some hards, and you can see down the right hand side that front wing is broken, so he's going to fall behind. Rafa, 3 second time penalty there. He's really struggling, isn't he? I'm just watching him on board with Nolan. Does he fancy a move on the outside into the casino? Just nowhere to go.
Nolan is not giving up, isn't he? He's just trying to go for moves that are possibly hard to go for, and then he thought, no, I better try it next lap. He's just hungry for it. He knows Rafa's struggling, and I think Nolan seems to be alright with these tyres, but he's got to be careful not to hit into him.
He's going to get it here in the tunnel, surely, side by side.
Yeah,
This is so difficult. Does Rafa see him? He does, just a bite. But they're going to go side by side to the Nouvelle Suquet. This move is not done yet. Oh, it has to be let go, but surely he has to be letting it go now, Rafa. And eventually, after a visit to the wall, he has to let this one go. Is there any front wing damage to that Ferrari? I don't think so. No, he's got away with that one, but still, he tried his hardest to keep in there, but it was never really going to work. Jano now pitting as well as Zach.
I'm seeing a lot of medium runners hit a lot earlier, not possibly due to the damage.
Like crucial. Sorry, just saying here, crucially, there's obviously no front wing change here for Janel. So will he end up ahead of Louis and Lakitu? Because if he does, this is going to make his race right now. Because if he ahead of 2 rivals, it'll be okay. Louis has got him, but I think he's ahead of Lakitu still. And he was way further ahead than he was before the pit stop, and he can go to the end. Oh, he's not actually, he's on mediums. They can go to the end, but they'll be pretty dead by the time he gets there. We'll see how that one works. I guess, once again, track position is key. You want to be quick at the start of a stint. Doesn't really matter how slow you are at the end if you can just defend it. But once again, look like he's catching up to Louis quickly because he was sliding like mad. Really struggling still in that car.
Yeah, I did see in one race someone push their medium tyres to 30 laps, so it is doable, and Janel thinks that he could do that. So he decided to take that risk, and I wonder whether that risk will pay off. He's quicker than Louis at the moment though, so, but if he pushes too hard at this stage, how is he going to fare towards the end? His tyres will probably be dying, as Norman's got another 3 second time penalty. He's cutting corners left, right and centre here.
Yeah. We've got Nolan in the pits again after a really impressive stint. I don't think there are any front wing changes here. There is, okay.
See.
There is a front wing change.
It's showing the back of, yeah, it is.
There's a front change.
I couldn't see because it was the back of the camera.
Yeah.
GG.
Well, he had a good stint, but he's now back down to last again. He's going to have to do it all over again. Anyway,
well,
Lorman's...
the Hards will make it to the end, so...
So Lorman's on the back of Rafa, Janel on the back of Louis. They're the 2 fights we're watching right now. Schnitzel is pretty much checked out at the front, nearly 12 seconds clear at the moment from Speedster. Truesdale is rather close, I guess. Maybe he can capitalise on a mistake, but win and another 10 seconds back. So it's really being spread out at the top already. Only lap 10, only lap 12 here.
Yeah, lap 12 of 39, so I think it's 28. I can't do math. No, it's not 28, 27. So it is quite a long race, but obviously for the short laps, that's why there's 39 laps. So you just got to take it as it comes, really. And Schnitzel is really pulling out all the stops. He might try and go out for as long as he can and try and put on the softs, but we'll just see. I think he might be waiting to see what his rivals can do, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just noticing, by the way, the sun is now out. So this will be, you know, helping heat the tyres up a little bit more. Maybe that will help lower grip. Or maybe it will make his overheating worse, if that's what he's struggling with. I'll be surprised if he can overheat those hards. But, maybe warmer temperatures will help him now, but we'll wait and see on that. Further back, Lakitu now is catching up to Zach. So there could be a fight there to be had, but once again, it's just no way of passing here. It must be so frustrating for these guys. But, Schnitzel, he hasn't had to worry about anything. He hasn't seen another car all day. About to start lap 13. About to go one third of the way into this race. And, well, he's pretty much gained a second per lap on these guys. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's like he's doing time trial or something. You see how he was good in the wet, and I thought, was he actually going to commit in the dry? And he is. So it just looks like he likes this track in general. I think when you practice around Monaco, you can tell who has practiced and who hasn't. And I think Schnitzel has probably put in the time and hours to practice, because I think he's in a few other leagues as well where Monaco is coming up, so that would benefit him in the long run as well. And that will give him confidence going into the rest of the season as well.
Certainly, I mean, he has really put a marker down today. I mean, it's incredible. Hopefully he'll keep it on the track, of course. I mean, I'll always bring up Senna 88. It always looks so good until you make one little mistake and you're out of it. So, but for now anyway, Schnitzel's having a great day.
And I think Speedster's having a good day as well, because I think he's just gained about a second over Truesdale. So he's going to be fine in second place at the moment. And your Janot is also having a battle with Louis as well. Looks like Louis finding those hards a lot more difficult, as Janot almost touched Louis there going towards the tunnel section. And I think Janot looks committed to making a move, maybe. He's going to take the left-hand side. That's vicious. Oh, they touched!
Big lockup there, but luckily no damage, no spins or anything.
No. So, I think Janot might try again on the start-finish straight, but I wouldn't have tried it on the inside. I thought he would have had to go on the outside, but maybe Louis had that covered there, so he tried.
He's just hit the wall. I think Janot just hit the wall there on the exit of the second chicane, and that could be damage to the front wing. Oh man.
And it is hard, I think.
It's not even changing the front wing. Okay, so maybe he's just going hard to the end, or maybe he didn't have time to tell the team to change the front wing. Either way, last.
Doesn't look like he's got much damage anyways, or he might have felt that the mediums weren't good.
It didn't look like there was damage to some others earlier, like Lou, but they did. It could be like, you know, light green damage or something, but it's just an odd decision not to pit. I don't know, but
weird.
Yeah, well, hopefully he'll catch up now to these guys. But there goes our closest fight on track. It becomes now Zach versus Lakitu. So let's see how these guys get on.
That's the closest battle on track, and also we'll be watching Lormans and Rafford that get.
Lormans.
Watching Lormans as he's out. And
Trues as wow, both of them gone in the space of a couple of seconds. One at the Nouvelle Chicane, and then Truesdale, I imagine, has gone at Raskas. Let's try and figure it out.
I don't see Truesdale, or it might be in the pits actually.
Is it in the pits?
I can't even tell.
That would be a bit silly, wouldn't it? I don't really know what's happened there, but we have a pit stop. We have got Rafa pitting. I don't really know what happened to Truesdale. It feels like it might happen in the last corner. I'm surprised there's no safety car, but then again at the same time, I'm not really.
I'm not surprised. It hardly happens on this game unless there's a lot of debris.
Exactly, I mean,
at the moment.
Well, it's either for a lot of debris or a tiny wee spin. Sometimes you see a safety car come out for. I was commentating, I think, a Spain race for SLR, and I swear it was just a little spin, and it brought a safety car out. It was ridiculous. The car recovered by the side the safety car came out. But yeah, they come in for the weirdest things.
In China, for me, when I was commentating on the race. Why China? I don't know, but
yeah, it's just weird. Safety cars got weird programming on this game. Anyway, hasn't come out. Speedster into the pits now from P2. Quite frankly, he'll probably keep that P2. He's that far ahead of his teammate now. But, yeah, it just shows how good these guys are at the front. Hard compound tires to the end, but a new front wing, so he will end up behind his teammate, I reckon. Indeed, he will. But then again, he has to pit again anyway, so it'll be fine. What about Louis, though? You would have thought Lou would get somewhat close now with that front wing change, and indeed he is ahead. So the front wing change costing Speedster there a little bit.
Ooh,
and
that was close between Speedster and Louis there.
Was it really worth doing that? I wonder if he didn't realise Lou was there until he saw him appear on the map, because I don't think he would have done. I don't think he would have changed the win if he knew he would have lost that position.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just saw Nolan absolutely clatter the wall 2 or 3 times there with his rear tyre. I think he's got away with it because he's trying to catch it to Lakitu and to Zach.
He's got away with it.
He has certainly got away with it, but he has got a 3-second time penalty now. But yeah, that's incredible how he's got no damage from that. Lakitu now, knowing his teammates catching up, might fancy a bit of a move here now, Zach. Maybe a bit more motivated to try. He certainly seems to have more pace than the runner, but it's just the same old problem right here. There's nothing you can do.
I think track position, I think, is more important. If you're ahead, you're going to have more advantage, but if you're behind as well, you're going to try and go for tactics, but the key to almost hit the back there, and he almost hit the wall almost, so his teammate's going to have a little bit of a slipstream going to the start-finish straight. He might get a bit of a toe as well, but deciding to back out for now, going through turn 1, and I don't think Nikita's going to try for a move on Zach yet, but he may sense his chance if Zach is a bit slower on some corners and makes a mistake.
I think it is. Oh, down the inside, he's hit the side of Zach. That was optimistic, and how is he going to get through here now? Front wing damage to Zach, I believe, from that. And look at that, Nolan on the inside of the hairpin, and this is not going too well for the Haas boys now. That was very ambitious, and I think it might have damaged Zach's front wing. It is damaged.
Yeah, it is. I think.
Oh dear.
That is not good for Zach. He was going so well as well.
Well, he might. Well, I mean, he's still ahead, but it'll just make it a lot more difficult. It's only the end fence that's gone. He might get away with that. Possibly. I hope he does, because it's not his fault, is it, this accident? So, well, we said these guys have to get a bit opportunistic, and that's about as opportunistic as it gets.
Yeah, like, obviously the main overtaking opportunities is coming up to turn 1, and the tunnel potentially, and the other corners will be more tricky, and I think Lakitu is about to take so many more risks. I think sometimes you just got to fight the bullet, really, and choose when.
Oh, look at Nolan on the inside. Oh, he fancied it into the casino there for a moment. Yellow's ahead of Janel, or it's for Janel, sorry. He's been in the wall. Whole front wing is
front wing gone.
Damaged on both sides. He's just lost it. Yep. Oh dear.
He hit the wall through Vasquez there. That is not the way you want to do that. As he's gone for another stop. I'm just seeing how many stops people have done. He's on his 3rd stop at the moment, whereas everyone else has made 1 stop. So, yeah, not going too well. And, he's gone on the soft.
Fast as love, I guess you can do that.
Yeah.
He'll be 9th anyway.
Yeah. Will it last 20 laps?
He probably won't need to. He's last by so far. Oh, Lakitu's done it again. Down the inside, making huge contact with Zach, but he gets through. That'll be questioned a lot, I think, by the stewards, but Zach might well fancy another move at the inside for a bit of payback, possibly, but not gonna happen. He's broken his front wing, I think, even more now, and here comes Nolan up the hill, trying to get by. He does get by. Will he go for his teammate? Get 2 for 1 on the inside. Really opportunistic move again, and I think he's gonna have to back out, or else he's gonna take his teammate out. But yeah, these guys are starting to get a bit impatient now. You can see it. They're really going for moves everywhere. Oh, more contact. That's massive damage to Zach, and he can't get through.
He has to. And this kind of reminds me of Grosjean and Magnussen hitting each other.
It does.
Quite a few rounds, actually.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminds us of that. So Lakitu was a bit too aggressive, and so was Nolan as well. So I think they're as bad as each other. So they just put.
Oh my
like
goodness,
boys.
it's back.
Oh god, they're gonna go again. What is Nolan doing? He's just trying to go for a move where there's not much space, and if he does that, there's gonna be trouble. But he's deciding, no, he's not going to. Is that pitting?
Well, Schnitzel has pitted just while all that was happening. He's obviously still in the lead. But, yeah, that pissed off his
Quite
hand.
a bit, actually.
Yeah. Well, he was 40 seconds clear. Incredibly.
Wow. So, yes, he is having a good race. So, he could go to the softs at the end. So
Nolan?
Nolan, what on earth is he doing?
He's got to go for it again here. Right outside to Mirabeau. This could work out, but he's going to have to back out of it. Surely. Calm it down, lads. We're halfway through the race only just now. You've got plenty of time.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me.
Oh, he's hit the wall on the inside there. Wow. How has he managed to keep that facing the right direction? I have no idea, Lakitu, but surely Nolan will be saying this is a wide open door. But he decides not to try and go through it this time, thank God.
Typical. He doesn't go for a move where he can see the opportunity, and he goes for a move when he can't.
Exactly, yeah. It's an interesting technique, but I can't really say it's working either, unfortunately.
No. As he's still right on the back of Lakitu, almost hitting him again, so keep it calm, lads. Otherwise you'll have more damage to your front wing and more repair bills as well. But Nolan is not going to have a move done then, but he might go through
look at this, up the hill. Chance.
No. Nolan's going to go through.
Brilliant move. That's a brilliant move. He can make it stick. He's had to make that one work, and finally, when he gets a clean chance, I think he's going to make it stick. He's got the inside. He surely has to take this now. Into Mirabeau. Oh, God. Oh, God. We're side by side again. And you know what? None of these two are going to give this up. We're still side by side at Monaco. But finally, Nolan gets by. And who says you can't race at Monaco then?
I think these two hatters think that they can race in Monaco, and it doesn't care what track that they're in. So, yeah, Nolan, what a good move there. He learned from his mistakes there and just made it very clean. I can't. Oh, he hit the wall, Lakitu!
My God, that's horrendous.
That
the
is
barrier has been demolished. It's right on board with that. That was horrendous, that did. And by the way,
yeah.
Wayne hasn't pitted yet, and look what this is doing to the fight for second and third. Louis going to have to try and get on the inside here. Into a casino. Oh, here we go again with a side-by-side action. And Louis gets ahead.
God.
Speed's just going to try and get ahead. He does so, but a huge slide. Had to get loads of opposite lock on there multiple times. Luckily, those two both keep it facing the right direction. And I'm just in awe as to how Lakitu has managed to do that to the barrier and still have his car, like, working.
And he's pitting for certain mediums, so I'm sure that will go to the end. And meanwhile, Wayne's teammate Speedster is also having a bit of a go at this as well. So Louis' got to make the move soon, or maybe Louis is using it as a tactic to hold the other Alpha up to keep his position.
Well, they are both ahead of Wayne. Wayne's going to have to pit, surely. His pit light is on, isn't it? So he'll pit. He'll be behind Nolan. He's behind quite a lot of the field, actually. I don't think we'll be able to pass him back again. And this is what I'm saying. This is what I expected, right? I expected all these guys in mediums to do what Wayne is doing and go for maybe sauce at the end. And that's why I thought starting on sauce would be a better idea. Because look how much time Wayne is losing now. But
yeah.
Many decided just to go to hard instead, which I guess also works. But I had a point there. It's somewhere. There was a point. But anyway, Space tonight gonna try and make this move on Louis. He's been waiting a very long time to get this done, but maybe he'll finally do something about it.
Yeah, but he's looking quite strong already this race, and he's on newer tyres as well, so that's probably gonna have more advantage as he's on. He might challenge for a move now. Nope, he bumps it back to 0, so he might have a chance soon, possibly going through to Vasquez later on in the lap, or maybe the start-finish straight, but it is hard again as he takes a very good line there, and Zach to set the fastest lap of the race, and he's currently, I don't even know where he is. He's
P8.
P8 on mine, yeah. Because for some reason on my screen, Wayne is massively desyncing for me. So what you're seeing on the stream is completely different to what I'm seeing for Wayne. for some reason.
Speedster's gonna get a great run up the hill here as Louis cuts the first corner. Is there anywhere for the Alpha to go? Louis defends to the
Oh my
inside,
God.
and there's a tiny bit of contact. You could argue that's moving twice on the straight, but then again, you could argue that's even a straight in the first place. I'm sure they'd argue about that one all day, but Speedster not gonna get by for now. Oh, that's so slidey. Nearly didn't get that slowed down there, Speedster. I'm sure he wasn't enjoying that one bit. But let's see if we can get this one done into the Nouvelle Chicane.
There was Louis as well. Louis probably wasn't enjoying that he almost had a tap at the back as well. And is he going to go for me? No, not again. I think Louis must just be defending. Oh, he's right on the back of him. Look at this. Oh,
He
my
can't
God.
go for that, surely, he
No,
doesn't.
he can't. He just can't. I think Speedster's having more pace than Louis at the moment, and Speedster's thinking that he could, if he goes ahead of him, he could really fall away from him. But I don't know. You can't take much risk with Speedster anyway. Is he gonna have another chance here?
Nah, he
No,
slided
not
out of the last corner. It was never gonna work.
right. No.
And just gotta point this out. Schnitzel's nearly 30 seconds clear now. Really just showing off at this point, isn't he? But once again, Senna 88. You just gotta make sure you actually get to the end before we start celebrating it, because it can just go wrong at any moment.
It's not over till the checkered flag falls. So
Exactly.
it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And Schnitzel might be loving this, but he's just got to find his flow even more, because pretty much the last half of the race is one of the most trickiest, because you might make the most mistakes around it.
Speedster looks to be falling back a little bit now on Louis. Although it has to be said, the Toro Rosso is losing a lot more energy than Speedster. I mean, he's pretty much got near enough a full tank, so I'm sure when he has the opportunity, he will take it. But for now, he's just sliding in weight, and we'll see if he can make a move soon. Janel's going to try another fast lap attempt, I assume, which is why he's in the pit lane. Front wing off.
Set of the soft tyres. Oh, is it a stop go?
Nah, front wing was off. So he's
right.
taking another front wing out of the car.
Wow. And I think we're seeing more penalties anyway, it starts to get a bit more enjoying for the drivers anyway. As Speedster's very close to Louis again. As there's still, it's just no giving up for these two, isn't it? They've been fighting for pretty much 5 or 6 laps already, and still no sign of Speedster getting past him. But he might lose time to Nolan at this rate, but I don't think he will, because Speedster's on newer tyres anyway. So he'll pretty be comfortable where he is. He'll either decide if he wants to keep the points where he is now, or challenge the second. But yeah.
Actually, I need to look at some penalties. I'm going to assume these two aren't going to be stupid and go for a move.
I'll check for penalties.
Alright, okay. I'll watch then. Because it looks like Speedster is close. But once again, is there any real chance of an overtake? Not really, unless Louis hits the wall or something. Up the hill. He's going to have a good run, Speedster. But once again, does he have a chance? Oh, he goes for it! Oh. He had to get out of that one quickly, and I wonder if there's a car on the wall. It's Janel. Or, well, sorry, he's not on the wall. He was just slowing down to prepare for his lap. Because it's pretty much like a qualifying lap, this.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Well, let's watch him then. See how he does on the lap, because this is pretty much going to be his fastest lap of the day at this rate.
Well, if Speedster I think Speedster's staying where he is, because meanwhile Speedster doesn't have any penalties, whereas Louis on 2 penalties with 2 warnings, so he could be on the cusp of another penalty. So I think he just doesn't want to take any risks. And saying that, he almost bumped Louis into Raskas there, so maybe he doesn't know how many penalties he's got.
I am just noticing that Nolan is right on the back of Wayne as well. Oh, Wayne's in the pits. Finally making his first stop. Took your time, didn't you?
He's going to be on the softs as well. So that's going to stick like glue. He's probably going to end up pushing quite a lot here, but
I just don't see the sense in that strategy, unfortunately. But
I don't either, because
into the back goes Speedster, by the way.
His damage.
That
damage.
Might open the door. He's broke his right hand plate. Right hand fence is gone. Oh, on the inside again, and they're all hitting each other. Into the wall goes Louis, and that was really stupid. That really stupid. And look at this. He may take him right in a second here, but he's letting him through actually, Louis. So oh, that could have been awkward, because they're slowing down in a tunnel like that is really dangerous. But I want to get an outside view to see how much damage there is. Both end fences are gone for Louis. I think only one end fence is gone for Speedster. But now, look at this. Nolan will be loving this. If these guys don't pit, he'll be able to pass them probably on track anyway. He's on for P2. Remember, he had a drive-through penalty to start for a jump start. He's they're both in the wall again. Speedster on the inside into the pit lane.
And he gets a 5-second penalty as well.
Do you know what? That's justice for you. Louis has pushed him into the pit lane just to, and it's given Speedster a 5-second stop go.
Oh,
There's justice for you, because I think that was Speedster's fault, and I think that's Louis there just insurance to make sure he stays ahead.
yeah, and Speedster actually comes out ahead of Louis. Yes, he does. So yeah, so those are going to go to the end. Interestingly, Speedster went on the mediums and Louis went on the soft there. Speedster can go on the soft, but I don't think he wants to take any more risks after that incident with Louis, I think.
Yeah. I just don't know what was going through his head.
I don't see sense, though. I don't see sense.
Oh. Well,
this is crazy.
I think that's pretty much killed off all fighting. Whether that's a good thing or not, you can decide. But
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I've just seen Schnitzel. He's lapped everyone up to Louis, I think. He'll be lapping Louis soon.
Lakitu.
Oh, is it Lakitu? No,
Lakitu's been lapped as well.
that's what I'm saying. Up to Lakitu's lapped, and then he's gonna lap Louis next. I mean.
Ah, right, okay. How is he sticking to the track like that? This is crazy for Schnitzel.
My God, yeah, he's just got so much commitment. Oh, yeah, he's just got a penalty there, but the commitment, man. He can just lock those tires up like it's nothing. It's like tire wear doesn't exist for him.
He must be driving like it's hungry or something.
And remember, this is on the hard. This isn't like it's a soft tire. This is not meant to be pushed like this, but he's pushing it.
He's pushing it like he's battling, but he's not.
Exactly.
I think he's hoping there'll be battles, but there's not.
Yeah, at this rate, he's going to win this race by a minute.
Yeah, that would be insane.
That's probably his target, to be honest with you. He'd probably be saying that and thinking, it's possible.
Yeah, and I think this is his first race as
Oh,
well.
Nolan's gone! Into the wall!
What? That's near the swimming pool? Almost in the swimming pool.
Must be swimming pool. Let's see.
Yeah,
Yep. Oh, he's hit it in he's hit it in to back, and then it's continued on into the swimming pool. I can't believe it. He was having such a good run after that penalty, and it's all gone wrong for him. Out of the race he goes. Oh man.
Yeah. Oh, I think we were all both hoping for a podium, and then he just lost his chances there. I think that was a mistake all by himself there, but there you go. That is he had his first race last week, finished P15. He was hoping to improve from last week, but unfortunately he can't do that. He finished he's DNF, so and he's not happy with that. He's after session.
Well, the good news now for Rafa is that he's in P2, but the bad news is he's got Wayne behind, and so much for Wayne's strategy not working, he's kept his nose clean. Actually, this is going to work out right well for him now. He's on 2-step softer tyres, much fresher. Surely a move is going to happen. Even on Monaco, it should be rather easy to get this one done. And Schnitzel, he's going to get that minute, I reckon. May even lap the whole field. You never know. You just never know. We'll see if he can do it. Still got 8 laps including the one he's on. It's not out of the question, to be brutally honest with you, with the pace he's got. And look at this Rafa really feeling the pressure already. Does Wayne go for it? Yellow flags. Louis is just letting through the leader there, so that's not really a yellow flag at all. I don't know why they put a flag out for that, but Jan as well's on some sauce. He's actually going to be quicker than Rafa too. But down the inside goes Wayne into turn 1. Does he get it slowed down? Oh, Rafa's in the wall. Broke the front wing. Don't really know why he kept in it for so long, quite frankly. He was always going to be overtaken. And another one bites the dust by the looks of it. Another front wing gone. Do you know we need a safety car now? Could you imagine? Just get these guys all back together. We've seen pretty much everyone except Schnitzel have something go wrong.
I think the only person that will be happy about this race is Schnitzel.
Yeah, well, maybe Wayne as well. For picking it. I guess he hasn't had any errors either, but he's still going to finish over a minute behind the leader at the moment.
Shame I can't see him.
Yeah, well, if he looks behind him, he'll probably see Schnitzel, unfortunately. Just one of those days.
Yeah, I think he's a minute ahead now. Yes, he is.
And he's still pulling away, Schnitzel.
Cheering. Right on cue, there was cheering.
Compare the tyres, and somehow Schnitzel is still pulling away. By all realms of common sense, he shouldn't, but he is. That's just how much pace he's got today.
Yeah, and he's already gained a lot of positions this race as well. I'm sure he would definitely be contended for driver of the day for the way he's driving. He's on ERS mode 5 as well. Why would you want to do that? I think he just wants a bit of glory, you know?
Yeah. Here's Lakitu. He's going to try and pass Lou, but he's an AI car, so you have to be really careful with this. Let's see how quickly he stays in AI. Will he have realised yet? I think he's still AI. So Louis, I don't know what he's doing there, if he's just having a bit of a break or something. But he's yeah, lost the position there. Zach into the pit lane, but he's not really leaving yet. And finally, I wonder if he's gone AI as well. I think a lot of people are starting to give up at this point. I think they're starting to take its toll, this track, at last. And it looks like Speedster is going to try and get past Rafa. And let me just quickly check Speedster's penalties. Just he's actually still going to be in that second, as long as he doesn't crash here. He's made contact, but there's no sort of damage as Rafa pits.
I think he had a penalty anyway, Rafa, so he's probably going to serve that maybe, but...
Win another penalty. So yeah, because Speedster's up against him has 1, and Wayne's got about 5, so Speedster actually will still end up second place, and I don't think that'll be very good news for Louis. I don't think we're very happy to see that, but oh well.
He's 4th in the championship, so... And he's going to finish ahead of both Louis and Rafa, so they're going to close up to them a little bit. And meanwhile, an interesting fact, after last week's race, Louis and Rafa are tied on points. Interestingly.
Yeah. It's ended up being a story of which of those two had the bigger disaster today, isn't it? But yeah, somehow there's still only 8 seconds between them on the track. It's weird to think that, really, with all the adventures they've all had, but fair enough.
At least some of these guys are keeping going, even if they've had damage. If I was them, I probably would have given up by now.
Yeah. But once again, you just never know what can happen. I mean, there's still time for stuff to happen. There's still 4 to go. And, well, with how crazy this race has been already, what's to say we won't have another shake-up? As Rafa, well, 5-second penalty for corner cutting. That is at the swimming pool chicanes. That's a... I don't know how he's managed that.
Does that leave that now? So we had a penalty on lap 9. And he's had quite a lot of penalties so far this race, so that puts him up to 4 or 5 penalties now. And yeah, I thought he had another one then, but that was just me going back to the session.
So I think all fighting has pretty much stopped now, which I think you can argue is probably for the better.
Yeah.
Only two drivers. Only 2 drivers left to lap now for Schnitzel, and that is a Speedster and his teammate Wayne. And you know what? They're getting quite close on this track. Will they possibly come towards each other? Will we see Schnitzel maybe get the 2 of them? That's probably his goal. He'll see them and think, target acquired, let's get him. But yeah, we'll see what he does. He's still so consistent, only half a second off his best lap so far, and with so much commitment. We've got yellow flags ahead. Our front wine's gone. It's from Janel. Janel's done it. Janel.
Oh, right. He's gone to the pits again.
Yeah, you can see his front line sitting there.
So is Schnitzel.
Okay.
He's gone for fastest lap.
Do you know what? That's clever.
That's right. See,
That's clever.
That is. If I was in that position, I would do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea to do that. Actually, he'll probably still get that to a minute again. That gap as well.
Yeah, and because he wants to get maximum points, and now's the best chance to do it. So.
Look at this. Look, we've got Rafa and Louis side by side to make contact into turn 1, and Schnitzel luckily comes out ahead of them.
But luckily Schnitzel avoided that, because otherwise it would have been game over, and Wayne
Yeah.
possibly, or Speacer would have.
Well, it
won,
would have been Spacer, wouldn't it? Somehow
yeah.
out of all this, but it's not. Now, we're going to have to probably wait a while to see this gap properly update, because while it still says a minute 5 on screen, it isn't. It's just how far. The gap is still increasing because Wayne hasn't actually got to the next timing point yet. And look at this, Schnitzel's going to let these guys through. What's he doing here? What is he doing this for?
I thought he was struggling a bit there, but I think he didn't want to get in their way. So
saving ERS or something? Is he just going to try and...
He's doing an outlap. I'm sure he's doing an outlap.
Is he letting these guys catch up? Because in this way he will let them catch up.
Yeah, if he can't slow down too much.
We're not going to be showing off too much, lad.
Yeah, or he might be thinking, oh, I'm getting bored of racing on my own. I want to fight.
Well, we'll see what he does. Let's see if he goes for a lap. He's on to hot lap. And let's see what the lap is. Let's run on board for a lap with Schnitzel. Lap 38 out of 39. And this should be the fastest lap by some way. Because they have pretty good pace earlier on the hard, so it shouldn't be too difficult to beat the lap. But once again, Senna 88, don't be too cocky here.
Yeah, don't say, oh, Schnitzel's going to win, because he's had 1.5 laps to get around Monaco, and again, that's even hard. And he's just taking it like qualifying at the moment, and that's what I would do at this situation as well. And I think Louis dropped back a little bit.
I think he's still AI, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that's what he is.
Yeah, he is. Look.
He is AI. And he's... Oh, we've got...
Oh.
He's also have a toe as well.
Oh, he's not. He's going to be held up. Oh.
Oh, that was close. Luckily he avoided that. As Janelle's got another penalty. But I don't think it's going to be fast. Oh, I think he backed out of that fast lap as he went back to 0 again, Schnitzel there.
There's not anything else to use, though.
No. Is he going to get fastest lap?
Nope.
No.
He lost a second in the last sector. He's going to go for it again on this last lap. And look at this. We got Speedster passing Wayne. It was going to happen anyway. On penalties.
He wants to do it on track and he's done it, so...
Yeah, Schnitzel's now down on his first sector of the last lap. Because he hasn't really got that much ERS left to use. Obviously, Louis held him up quite a lot in that last lap. He doesn't need much to get the fast lap, I don't think. How far is he off? He's got 6/10 to make. It's actually quite a considerable margin. Let's see if he can do it. On this, the final lap, of course.
Believe it or not.
It's actually flown by quite quickly, this race. It's been a pretty entertaining one here in Monaco. And we're going to watch Schnitzel now. Right on board with him for the end of this race. He is up now in his last lap. As a front wing gone for Janel for the 16th time in this race. And that's going to ruin the fastest lap, maybe, for Schnitzel. Let's see. Through the final corner, Schnitzel. He has dominated this race. No other word to use. He's going to come across the line to win. Does he get that fastest lap? Of course he does. By a very long way indeed. Schnitzel wins.
1.3 seconds that lap.
Schnitzel wins then. At Monaco. I think that was 7/10 quicker than the fastest lap from other drivers. Louis P6 there. Zach will be P7. Jan will P8. I think they're a lap behind anyway. Well, everyone, I think, till the Kichi's a lap down, aren't they? But we got Wayne. Has Wayne got an issue, or is he just slowing down for fun? I don't really know. But Spacer will be second at the moment. Wayne will be third at the moment. Then now Zach has now cross the line. We'll get Lakitu fourth, and then Rafa fifth, and that will be our order. So yellow flag just ahead. It's Zach's car across the line.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Speedster's penalty, but that hasn't done anything, because obviously Wayne had a few more penalties than him.
Here comes Lakitu to the line, P4. And then Rafa will be last man across the line. I think he's broken front wing still. But he'll take 10 points out of this one. But Schnitzel took all 26. And a very dominant performance from him. One of the most dominant races I've ever seen, quite frankly.
Yeah, me too. And just a reminder, this is actually his first race here in the ERL. So what a debut to kick that off on.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, there's our podium. Schnitzel, well deserved that trophy. One he I'm sure will very much enjoy putting up in his cabinet, because you can put the trophies up on a fake cabinet in the game, and I'm sure he'll be putting that one straight up there. But celebrating with a champagne, a dominant victory, and well, we can't really look past him for driver today as well. He's just schooled every single driver in the grid today.
Yeah, I agree. I have to go and drive the day as well, to be honest. Faultless all race.
So let's quickly confirm that order again. No one has skipped any penalties, in fact, even Schnitzel, but it was Schnitzel who won. From Speedster, Wayne, Lakitu, Rafa, Louis, Zach, Janel, Nolan, Truesdale and Lormans. And that is it then for the ERL F1 Monaco Grand Prix, round 6 of the season. And, well, domination. Brilliant race from Schnitzel, and we'll be back next week to see how he handles Canada.
It's a break week next week.
Oh, is it?
I believe. Yeah.
Are you sure? What for?
Yep, I have checked the I'm sure it is, but I don't know. I did check the calendar. It is a break week. So.
Oh, we're just taking a break for fun, are we? Here we go. Fair enough.
I don't even know.
Maybe there's some football on.
Maybe. I don't know, but yeah, they have a week to. They have a week's break anyway. They may have a chance to refresh themselves a little bit more after this. For some of those people, a lot of difficult racing.
Well, okay, we'll be back whenever we're back then for the Canadian Grand Prix, and well, until then, I've been Owen White, and that's been Jess, my co-commentator. Thanks for joining me. Great race, and we'll see you when we ever see you soon, I guess. But anyway, safe travels.